One night a few weeks ago, my dog, Indy, was being super weird, like weirder than usual. He kept crying and trying to climb into my lap while I was working. So I thought maybe he needed a poo or something. So I took him outside, at which point I realized that it sounded like an absolute war zone out there. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we've had pretty much nonstop protests for the past several weeks following the murder of George Floyd at the end of May. So when I first heard those pops and booms, my first thought was that might be cops using flash grenades and rubber bullets. But after listening a bit more, I realized that it was fireworks. And that's weird, I thought, because people don't normally set off fireworks in early June. But hey, maybe it's related to the protests or something. Indy was happy seeing that no one was outside being murdered. So we went back inside and I didn't think anything more of it. Until the fireworks happened again the next night, and the next night, and then pretty much consistently for the past several weeks. I've lived here for maybe 5 years now, and I have to tell you that is not normal. Like every other place I lived, we get some fireworks in the days leading up to July 4th, and that's pretty much it. Maybe some after July 4th, too. California doesn't allow the sale of fireworks that explode or fly. And around here, all fireworks are actually illegal in Oakland, San Francisco, Berkeley, and San Mateo. So that's a whole lot of people who are somehow getting very cheap, very illegal fireworks and setting them off every night for hours for several weeks. In addition to blaming the protests, I also blamed quarantine because people have been cooped up, so they want to get out there and have some fun. But still, where are they getting all these fireworks, and how the hell can they afford them? Because there's so many. Like 90% of our income here goes to rent, and the other 10% is for legal weed and burritos. That's just how we live here. Where are these fireworks coming from? In the past week, I've noticed other people noticing the fireworks, not just here in the Bay Area, but all across the country. It's not just happening here. It seems like it's happening everywhere, all night, every night in big cities. And that, my friends, is how you start a conspiracy theory. That's right. It's a conspiracy theory. And here is the answer. It's aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Aliens what love fireworks. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. This isn't like the usual conspiracy theories I talk about here. There's no UFOs or crisis actors or people straight up denying reality. This is quite a good one because it's kind of believable. It's very believable, actually. Here's the idea. The cops are annoyed at people protesting police violence. So to retaliate, they have handed out loads of fireworks to random kids and encouraged them to set them off all night, every night, which keeps residents from sleeping as a kind of torture. Some people also think that this is a way for cops to inoculate residents to the sound of explosions so that when they start actually bombing and gunning down protesters, people won't really notice or care as much. And finally, some people suspect that giving kids fireworks is an easy way to give the cops an excuse to raid neighborhoods and violently arrest everybody. I'm reminded here of the old skeptical chestnut, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. There is another possibly simpler explanation for the fireworks. Due to coronavirus, purveyors of fireworks aren't selling as many since no towns with any sense are going to put on large-scale displays that will attract a bunch of crowds. Considering that the virus was just picking up steam around the Chinese New Year at the end of January, there might be a huge stock of explosives, including the ones they had planned in China, sitting in warehouses gathering dust. So, seeing this incoming disaster with the 4th of July, these warehouses of fireworks are selling them off under the table at cost. So they go out on the street, they sell their fireworks cheap, and kids and dumbasses grab them and set them off because that's what kids and dumbasses do. That explanation doesn't require much of a conspiracy to work. But is it the truth? Let's adapt the zebra aphorism to something that you might tell yourself on the savannah 10,000 years ago. When you hear the grass sway, think wind, not snakes. 99 times out of 100, it would be the wind. But in this case, that 100th time would be a snake, and you might end up dead because of your assumption. The odds would be on your side, but the risk wouldn't be worth it. So even though the snake is rare, it's not impossible, and you would be smart to keep that in mind. Now let's talk about actual things the cops have done. Like drive around West Harlem at 3 a.m. with their lights and sirens on for absolutely no reason. Well, not no reason. The only reason I can think of is to, that's right, keep residents awake and annoy the shit out of them as a type of torture. And then there's the fire department in Crown Heights, New York, where actual firefighters were caught on camera setting off illegal fireworks in the middle of the night. Maybe just for fun, maybe to annoy the shit out of residents. In John Ronson's book, The Men Who Stare at Goats, he discusses the military PsyOps department, which included such tactics as playing Barney the Dinosaur's theme song, the I Love You song, at top volume nonstop to drive Iraqi prisoners of war insane. That actually happened. It's common knowledge at this point that psychological warfare works. And if you can keep your enemy distracted, exhausted, and angry, particularly angry at a different target, like kids and dumbasses setting off fireworks, you will have an easier time of winning. So aside from the instances caught on camera, are the nonstop fireworks this month a horse or a zebra? Grass or a snake? I honestly don't know. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say both. Cheap fireworks flooding the market, cops and firefighters that look the other way and sometimes participate and take advantage. And all of it leads to the same negative result, leaving people, especially those in poorer neighborhoods who are doing most of the work protesting police violence, leaving those people exhausted, scared, angry, and rattled. Remember those people who I said were worried that the cops were going to use this as an excuse to raid neighborhoods? Well, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has just sent cops in riot gear into neighborhoods to stop kids from setting off fireworks. Is this all according to a grand plan, or is de Blasio reacting in the only way politicians and our society as a whole know how to react to this sort of thing? When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When all you have is police with military-grade weapons, armor, and tactics, everything looks like a war. The only way we'll know more about all of this is if the press keeps pushing, if people keep protesting, keep filming, keep asking questions. As Son of Baldwin notes on Twitter, don't call the cops on kids with fireworks. If it's safe to do so, explain that they are, unbeknownst to them, psychologically damaging their community and ask them to stop. And for God's sakes, don't be one of those dumbasses contributing and setting off fireworks in your neighborhood. We're all on edge enough. Even Indy.